All right. Hope you can all hear me. I think I had a problem with my mic, so far it's supposed to work. So who we have in the chat? Okay, we have Mark, we have David. Yeah, thank you, David. We have sound now. Um, yeah, so please just send a hi, send kind of some emoji, where you're from, at the time. Yeah, the time for you. Hello, Algora. Hello, Mark. And we have Dima as well. Hello, Dima.
Hello, good to be here. Am I audible?
Yeah, I mean, happy to see you. I think that you were missed at least by me last time. But
I
I'm
know,
really
I know,
happy
I
that
know.
you
Sorry
managed to
about that.
join.
Yep.
Okay, so we have Mark from the US, 8 a.m. Oh my God. Good morning, my friend. Um, All right, so let's just jump right into our presentation. Of course, Dima here will be helping me out a bit and share the maybe behind the scenes and kind of the more deep reasoning behind what we've done in this release. So let's just get started. Version release 0.13. Let's get started. So the first thing that we upgraded is the getting started page. So Dima, can you please share what was behind it?
Yeah. First of all, I really love the new presentation kind of screen. Love the
Yeah,
aesthetics of it.
yeah, it looks good.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
actually,
So
yeah.
yeah. Well, what? I'm curious to hear.
And actually, I wanted to say that I try to not have you share your screen and kind of have it all under this pressure of the live presentation. So we have so many GIFs now and kind of all this animation that you can just focus on explaining things.
That's really cool. I really love it. Awesome. So kind of the bigger picture, and this is, it's something that we'll be doing. Our thesis around this is that we're trying to be as much as iterative as we can. So basically, the quick start page and the onboarding getting started page is like this is the first leg. We're done a few iterations over it, so you should also expect in the next upcoming cycles to see a bit more changes around that. And this is really about helping people kind of that just join Novu, helping to get them started to achieve what they actually need, depending on why they came here in the first place. So in the quick start page, we're kind of trying to identify the multiple use cases for people using Novu, and different people come and they have different needs. For example, somebody only comes for the notification center experience, somebody comes for the kind of more of the email behavior, or the multi-channel that's combining email and in-app and push and something else. Other people might be experiencing some problems with digest, so they can kind of to solve this particular problem. So this is something we are starting to tinker in the next few cycles at least, is this always kind of keep improving this section of the onboarding phase of, depending on your use case, how can we help you kind of have this success moment of implementing this within your application and etc. So we redesigned a lot of areas. We redesigned also the integrations modal, which is now accessible also from the workflow editor itself. So it doesn't navigate you to a whole different page if you don't have a provider connected, so you can do it inline. We have updated also something very cool that we call the Digest Playground, which is, it doesn't appear here. Maybe
Wait,
it's on the
we will
next.
get to there. We will get to there, Dima.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking it was coming, so just
Yeah.
to double check that.
So the other thing that you may notice right now in the GUI is the integration store. Basically, it's a bit redesigned where you can see that the way at least the things are popping out and the way you can connect your providers, it looks a bit different. Again, more aesthetic. We hope that it's more convenient in terms of usage. And again, if anyone have any ideas or something that you would like maybe to share and submit your experience and something that you would like us to polish, you can still do that. And regarding the digest onboarding workflow, yeah, Dima, that's exactly what you started to explain. So go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things that specifically with the actual integration page, and I think the main thesis about this modal was around, okay, we want to make sure that the integrations is in line, without navigating you to another page, distracting you. So kind of help to reduce this kind of all movement and shift and page navigations when you're in the workflow editor, when you're in the quick started page, and kind of rethinking about this. This is kind of the main outline for this, and we will be incorporating this modal in other sections of the flow as well. So really excited about this. The next one is the digest workflow playground, and one of the things that we've seen with people is that it's a bit complex for people kind of to wrap their head around what a digest is and how it operates. Some people like understand it from the get-go because this is the exact thing that they need right now, but a lot of the folks don't really familiar with what a digest is and how to work with this and what it does and etc. So we created this very simplified digest playground where you can see how it behaves and actually get an email of triggering multiple times the actual event, and then getting one email to say like, hey, here are the number of times that this was triggered on your end, and kind of see how it works behind the scenes. So I think it's very, very nice, specifically for the more advanced use cases. And this is where kind of we will be improving also the workflow editor for itself, but we also wanted to have people the chance to kind of experience it firsthand, kind of play around with it without getting too much of the complexity, just seeing what the end result looks like. And then basically, okay, how can I modify it? As you see here in the pop-up with the more of a guided tour, like, okay, the email you just got, previously, this is how we've done it. And this is like the digest node, and this is the email template itself. And this is how they're all connected together. So you can now take it from there and actually create, your own experience and template out of it. So
Yeah,
this is
I really like the work that's been done here. It looks amazing, in my opinion. um, yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of the digest playground, and I think this is again all connected to this kind of first, we call it the first day experience at Novu, which we are tackling in the next couple of cycles. We have obviously different tracks that we are running in parallel, but this is the one track that we are kind of trying to figure out that, okay, how the first day of a user signing up for Novu, because we know from kind of a lot of conversations with a lot of companies, usually kind of a full production, specifically for bigger companies, that have around like 500, 1,000 employees in them, there is no chance that they will, put stuff in production on the first day. And usually we see it takes around between 1.5 months to 2.5 months, where like we're seeing this test functionality and then like the production rollout in real life. So this is really around kind of showcasing what Novu can do. And the next upgrade in this path will be also around the notification center flow, with kind of a demo inside the actual web, so you can see and play with it, how it works and behaves, and see also example projects of how this can be implemented, for example, with our Next.js demo or other demo types we might have. So that's we'll be kind of iterating over this over and over. I really believe in putting things out there and getting the feedback and seeing how it works in the wild, and then kind of iterating based on that. We have a question. Do you want to go over now, Emil, or do you want to...
Yeah, we can. I mean, it's not too much trouble, I think.
Yeah. So actually, time digest is something that we are investigating at right now. I hope it will be already beginning. We're doing some technical research regarding that and how to incorporate this with our workflow engine and kind of this cron functionality. So we are shaping this as we speak, and hopefully it will be available. We'll begin working on it on the next cycle, which meaning in a couple, like a month and a half. I hope we'll be able to share kind of some estimate for this out there. If you have some ideas regarding how would you expect as a user to see this and interact with it, feel free to reach out on Discord and kind of share your thoughts. Right now, we are reaching out to people who asked us about this and kind of speaking with them. So we'd love to hear your ideas and thoughts regarding
Right.
that. So
Exactly.
time digest
Exactly.
is a very requested feature, and we are working on making it a reality right now. We are really excited about it.
Another thing that I know that the team been working on is the end-to-end provider testing, which is basically ensuring that um, like once you connect a provider or once you add a new provider, we could ensure that everything is really working and everything is really being presented and being delivered to the kind of end user as it's supposed to. Do you want to elaborate on that a bit, or should we
Yeah,
skip to the next
yeah,
one?
yeah. Sure. It's a really good one. And just for the second question asked by DM, how do we plan to hook the Digest workflow with other workflows? So what we're trying to do, and this is kind of our working thesis, is that we are basically able to point from one workflow to another workflow. So basically to create those kind of chunks, we're not finalized on the kind of how it will actually look and feel. If you have any thoughts about this, would love to jump you on a call and kind of share our current thesis around it, and how to connect basically this workflow to another workflow and basically trigger another kind of workflow out of it, or digest some of them together. So this is something that we are experimenting with right now. Um, Regarding the E2E provider testing, so one of the things that is very hard for us is this. We have, I think, today around more than 20 providers on the system, and providers change their API, providers change their SDKs, update their SDKs, and what you're doing right now today is kind of stubbing the request to the provider on our tests, which means that once a request is sent to the provider, we basically stop. We don't send it to a real provider. We just say, okay, we expect this to be sent with these parameters and this content, etc. But sometimes things kind of, it might be attachments and things that it's a bit hard to understand how the provider actually expects them to be and process them, and maybe they change their API. So we have built a framework to basically end-to-end test real providers with real credentials, to send an actual email and assert this email to see over the internet how it made all the underwater internet cables and arrived to the mail server, and then to Google, and from Google to the Gmail, and kind of this entire flow. And we will be adding support for other providers. For now, we kind of added, I think, around 4 or 5 email providers for this. This is a good point to shout out to a great company called Mailtrap, which we are using to this behavior. So basically what they allow you to do is to create those test inboxes, basically, and then have an API to actually query their inbox for the emails that arrived. So we can actually see, okay, we send an email with SendGrid and it actually arrived, and it has the proper attachments, and it's everything is working as we expected. This is really to make sure that we are guaranteed the delivery of things. Specifically, if we modify code or our providers modify code, as we will be running those scripts on the daily basis and before each change is made. So really big shout out. Pablo, one of our team members, has built kind of this whole testing suite, which is, I think, really, really cool. And we will be expanding more providers in there. Hopefully in the future, even other channels like SMS or Slack, setting up a virtual device to actually get an SMS message. We will be
Right.
hopefully iterating over it as well after we establish the foundations of this type of testing.
Yeah, another thing, the auto creation topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a very interesting part because we introduced topics a while back, and we have a few folks that kind of, specifically on the higher scale companies that generate hundreds and thousands of topics, kind of trying to improve the developer experience there. We don't need to query each time, before you add a subscriber to a topic. You can remove the prerequisite step. So you just say, for example, you have a task and you have somebody subscribed to this task's update. All you can do is basically add the subscriber to the topic key. Even if this topic key doesn't exist yet, we will auto create this topic key behind the scenes and attach the subscriber to it. So it kind of just helps, to reduce another step in the way of creating the topics. So you don't need to keep the state of, did I already create this topic or not, and create it beforehand. So you can just make sure that you are using a single command. You're basically adding subscribers to this particular topic and working around it. So this is like a small addition, but from a few of the conversations with the bigger companies that use the topics functionality, it's like another thing you can remove from your code and streamline the process of working with topics, which I think is really nice. Are there plans to be able to search through and maybe delete subscribers from the UI? Yes, the subscribers page was an initiative that we kind of was started by one of the community members. We didn't plan to kind of put it out there, and it's like started very simple with just a list of people. In the future, we will be investing much more in the subscribers page there. We do see like specifically in the nature of Novu and kind of working with, transactional types of notifications where you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers in the system. And we have folks with north of the 10 million, 30, 50 million subscribers available there. It's like the manual process is not something we thought of as a use case, but I would love to hear, your kind of need and plans around it there. So if you have any thoughts about it, would love to hear that on Discord or over email, kind of what are your use case for manually deleting those from the UI. The change is like not that big, but it's subscribers is something that will be kind of improving in the future as well, of some things like subscriber page, of seeing, the actual notifications a particular subscriber receives and getting some statistics to say, hey, there is a subscriber here that's getting, 50 messages a day, and like, oh, it might be a problem. And you want to take a look at this. So the subscribers page was really kind of a community member initiative. So we merged it and it's now available, but we have some plans to enhance it in the future. Mm-hmm. So this question regarding the external system to fetch subscribers' name, yes, we have discussed this with a few community members as well. We have, I think, even open issue for this. Basically, kind of the plan for this is to add another node type to actually fetch particular information from a webhook. It can be subscriber information, it can be just custom data, it can be used for filters. We already do this with filters today. We have the webhook filter available, so you can make a call to your API to decide if you should send something or not. A similar approach would be around also the to kind of fetch data for this particular workflow execution. It can be subscriber information, it can be any other stuff. So basically, you're referring, Guillaume, I guess, that if you create somebody with only the ID, but you want to use the subscriber.first name before you send the message, so you can query basically your system. So I believe this should address that. I don't remember where, but we already have a GitHub issue for this, so you can kind of subscribe to it. And once we'll have some updates about it, I can chat about it.
The seen and seen filter is also kind of a new addition. I think it's a very cool one.
Mm-hmm. So seen and seen is, kind of some of the things we already discussed it previously, and we created kind of a few new filters along the way. And basically, what's happening there is that you could actually say, okay, if the user saw a particular in-app message, only then send something or execute something. This is if you look at the the Novu.co, how do you call it, image available, you have this decision tree of like, yeah, if this user we have the online filter, but now we also have the is read filter. So basically, a particular use case for this is that, like, hey, don't send an email if the user has already seen the in-app message, for example. It's like the very classical one. So you can send email, send in-app, wait for 6 hours. If the user didn't read it yet, send an email or push. I think it's a very nice and cool use case for this.
Right.
Right. Is it possible to set delay to be optional now if defined send at it must be required if it's past server time for any reason it will be ignored from the queue? So one of the things that I'm not sure, let me double check that regarding the optional delay functionality. We have this on nodes today. I might think that we don't have this for the delayed message yet. Yeah, so this is something we need to actually add, which we don't have today, which is the filters on nodes other than email and like the channel nodes basically. We have the infra for this, like it should be quite a straightforward solution. So basically you could say, if you would add the filters for this, you can say like, hey, only if this property equals to this property, execute this node, otherwise it shouldn't be executed in runtime. So I think it's, we have the infra for this. Unfortunately, there's no support available for this at the moment.
Something that is actually being enrolled these days is the community maintained SDK. So you're basically getting them under the Novu organization. So we could make sure that everyone, and kind of, if it's something that is a bit more convenient to you to use an SDK with your kind of your native or convenient language, you could do so. It's something that being enrolled kind of in real time this week. We have few of them kind of already set and working, but few of them are also are work in progress, because we had some contributors that already made and kind of worked on those SDKs, and right now we migrating them under kind of Novu's hood, so it could be available for everyone and kind of in easy reach. So this is also a great chance to encourage everyone, and kind of, if you would like to maintain and help to build the SDK, to maintain, to make sure that it's up to date and it's really convenient for maybe other users and other contributors um, to just build upon. Make sure to check other repos under the Novo organization, and we will be really thankful if you could try and help us out here.
And one of the
Something.
things, like I also wanted to mention, just a quick one regarding the SDKs, is that we'll be also incorporating them into the different areas in docs, in the API reference, in
Right.
the actual product UI. So kind of making them more available, and hopefully we'll be adding new languages. We've been in a very kind of funny situation where we really wanted to automate as much as we can, and we evaluate a few companies that kind of help with generating SDKs, but it felt to us like it's not there yet and not the actual support we need. So we decided right now to stick with the kind of manually maintained SDKs, but creating the system around how do we handle and how do we kind of make sure that new functionality gets to the different areas, and doing that. So that would be really
Right.
really interesting. Looking
Right.
forward.
We will, DM, we will address your question kind of just in a few moments when we will get to the Q&A slide. So hang on tight, right? I also wanted us to acknowledge our recent contributors of the people basically who participated in this recent release. So really big shout out to all of you. Many of them, or maybe even all of them, it was kind of their first time contribution to a release, to Novu. So thank you very much for your help, and we really encourage and really kind of persuading everyone who would like to just be a part of the project, who would like to maybe bring some impact and to help us shape and build this project. Please feel free to do so. Um, Kind of, in if you would just want to know how you can contribute or how you could start, if it's something that is on your mind or kind of you have it in your heart, just go to one of the repos. Now we have also the SDK repos. Go to the issues, see something that is unassigned, and just comment on the issue and ask to be assigned to it, and we will gladly do it, so you could just head and dive right into it. And yeah,
And
right
just
now,
regarding the contributors, I just wanted to clarify. I actually think this is only the new contributors we had in this cycle. This release, I think, was with more than 26, taking the core members out, around like almost 16 people. So I think the list was only for the new folks,
only
the
for the
contributors
new
for the
ones.
first time.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
my bad. I forgot to include all the
Yeah,
other
because I
ones.
saw like there are so many amazing contributors that helped us, and like out of the people I can remember top of my head, we had like Emmanuel, which is handle name Pure, and Frogs from Git Start, and like we had so many people part of this release. So
I mean, in the
just
release
thank you for
notes,
that.
kind of on GitHub, you can see all the names of the contributors and all the folks who really participated actively in this release. So make sure also to check them out, maybe even to follow them, to express your gratitude, etc. Regarding the getting support, so if you have any questions regarding Novu and regarding what we do and regarding kind of maybe implementation and different things, we have a very active Discord server and very active community where you can just go ahead and ask your questions there. I think it's pretty intuitive, but again, if not, you can really be open and ask kind of how to do it and how you can get the answers you are seeking. And someone, maybe myself, maybe Dima, someone from the engineering team, someone from the community will gladly be helping you. So make sure that you are kind of connecting to us, because that's the kind of the um, probably the most active place we are at currently. Um, so right now, I think that we can head to the Q&A. So let's address the questions of the folks here in the chat.
All right. So at the moment, only single provider personas can be set up. Yes, this is correct. This is kind of a non-limitation we have at the moment. The system was built to support a few of those, but kind of for once we started, we really wanted to learn a bit more about why people using multiple providers. Is it only for fallback? They want to like spread the load. They have some rate limit problems. I think we are getting to the point where we have a much better understanding of kind of how to tackle this particularly right now. So, as you mentioned, yes, for now, only the chat and push channels allow you to set up multiple providers, but the actual, how do you call it, email and SMS providers are only a single provider that can be allowed. This is something that I think we have also an open issue for this. It's not something we have kind of in the very near time in terms of the actual planned scope of work we have. But if you can please write it out on Discord so I can attach kind of this request to the. So we're starting kind of to also make sure that we are prioritizing work based on kind of the demand and some of the impact it might have. So I'm collecting, everyone that asked about the multi-providers so we can make a more informed decisions about what to focus on next. So I will just, I will also submit this feedback by DM. Hopefully we can provide a bit more information on that. And at the moment, we don't have support for it.
Can anyone hear Dima right now?
I'm not audible. Now you can hear me?
That's so weird.
Right now, I want to check.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's probably only on my end. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I also
Okay.
see the green light, so it should be fine. Yeah, we have a requirement that emails from a select customer have to go. This is one of the use cases we heard about. So it's I'm adding this kind of internally so we can keep track of this request. So thank you for the suggestion there.
Oh, okay. I can hear you as well now.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. So I
Fine.
guess I missed it, but have you managed to address the question above?
Yeah, we have discussed it. I'll summarize it. I'm adding also this feedback internally so we can keep track of it. And I will look back and we'll hopefully update on the GitHub issue we have for this with some updates of our plans and how this can be
Amazing.
achieved.
Amazing. So, do you have any further kind of updates, something that we haven't covered in this kind of session, Dima, right now?
So we have a few more new providers also added. So we have Canal, which is kind of an SMS, a low-level SMS provider specifically for the enterprise use cases. A lot of the enterprise folks work with them.
Right.
46 Elks, which I think is a Swedish SMS provider, was added. Mattermost also was added as a Slack alternative there. And there was a bunch of bugs and small improvements, dependency updates. Like the whole list is available under the GitHub release notes there.
Right. We have another question here.
Is the same across all. There could be a message just for the feeds from all orgs. So basically, how we use with this is specifically with the multi-tenant environments. If you have, for example, like a rolling ID that you have separate databases, so you have like subscriber ID 1, 2, 3, 4. What you can actually do is you can namespace the subscribers with a prefix. The subscriber ID is really whatever you want it to be. So you can basically specify it as the organization ID dash subscriber ID if you would love to. And Novu doesn't really care about like the contents of it, so you can namespace this in the way you want. So this is how we've seen with these particular use cases of different databases that have, the 0, 1 or like incremental and not unique ID. So you can just prefix the org ID or whatever your tenancy kind of requirements are. If it's a totally separated systems, you can also have a different kind of organization and Novo, but this is not something we suggest that much to them. By the way, the same goes with topic keys, which is very similar. So you can like structure your topic keys whatever you want, like prepending organization IDs, like entity IDs. It's just a string which you can use and build it however you need it to be.
Do we have any further questions in the chat? Someone who would like us to address something? Okay. So anyway, I do believe that if you would like it to be even more thoroughly and kind of make sure it will be written. Oh, we do have. Just make sure that you're joining our Discord server and asking the questions there. It would really help us to kind of nurture and have everything in one place and address it properly so other people could find it after as well.
What is the meaning of life? Love it. 42, easy. Next. We have, by the way, shout out to Algora, which are awesome. Check them out on their website. I think they're doing something really cool in the open source world. And Ionis had a great chat with him. And I think we'll be soon doing a podcast together about Novu and open source, which we recorded. Hopefully it will be published soon as well. So for Slack Discord notifications, can I only use them in my personal channels or can other people utilize them in their own channels? Would I provide them a unique webhook URL? So usually the webhook URL is a unique kind of URL. So if I will go and generate a webhook URL on Discord, for example, it will be a unique ID which is only tied to a particular channel. Unfortunately, this is one of the limitations, which is a one-to-one kind of relationship. So you can't use the same webhook URL to send to different channels. This is something that's more kind of advanced scenarios with the post message, for example, from Slack that can be achieved. As of now, the webhook URL is kind of the most straightforward one, and it addresses most of the use cases, but obviously there are some use cases that cannot be achieved with the webhook URL. So the webhook URL is uniquely identifiable and it's associated only to a particular channel. I hope I answered your question correctly. Can you get more filtering when you actually fetch the notification? So Ibrahim, I guess you are speaking when you want to fetch like a particular notification center feed and you want to specify more questions. I don't see a reason of why not. This is mostly like if you can submit a GitHub issue for your particular use case and what you want to do with this, I think we could like add it depending on custom properties or something like this, so we can chat it.
Okay. So again, thank you everyone who came. Thank you for kind of dedicating a slot in your day, a time to come and see this release, joining the office hours, asking questions. Really, thank you for being active. We really hope that you will join our Discord and kind of be as well active on GitHub and help us to nurture and build this project in any way possible with your suggestions, with ideas, with anything that you want. We are really open for it. We are really kind of longing for your feedback. So please just help us help you. And yeah, so thank you all for coming. Dima, thank you for also dedicating a time and present and answer the questions here.
Amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I love the new slides.
Great. So see you in the next office hours, which will be in 2 weeks from now. Hope with another kind of batch of exciting updates. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.